The 2017 solar eclipse was a beautiful display of the heliocentric model's predictive capabilities. The date of the eclipse was predicted. The time the eclipse would occur was predicted. The path of the eclipse was predicted. Even what the eclipse would look like from different locations was predicted. All of this was done using the position of the moon, the sun, and the earth. Predictions that no flat earther could ever recreate.
He is coming. Cover your butt.
Help fight the flat earth bots by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more weekly content. After the 2017 eclipse, the excuses from the flat earth came quickly. No flat earther was as speedy at excuse making as Anthony Riley. I'm sure this had nothing to do with him making a bet that he would stop his flat earth foolishness if he could see the eclipse from the UK. Now, Riley has devised an experiment that he thinks will settle this debate once and for all.
Okay, so when the eclipse happened in 2015 in England, I took some photos on my phone, couldn't see the moon. When the eclipse in 2017 was due to happen, I was on Sun and Moon group and I told everyone to go looking at the moon and see if anybody could see it. And when we got the results back, we didn't know what we were expecting, but we knew that we were going to be looking for the moon. All the evidence indicated that the moon was not present. Then Soundly pops up with Earthshine, and Earthshine was ridiculed and laughed at. It was a set-up trick from the start, because you can't get Earthshine. But Soundly claims to have got it. Miles Davis also claims to have got it.
You think that Soundly came up with Earthshine? Here's a picture of the moon from the 2008 eclipse by Alson Wong. Here's an article by Forbes with some great pictures of the moon. And here's an article by dateandtime.com all about Earthshine. But this is all fake, isn't it? This is all fake not because you read an article on how to get Earthshine and attempted it yourself. No, this is all fake because it disagrees with you.
I'm going to use the wall. I'm going to present basically the ball through this, and what's going to happen is it's going to create an image on the wall, but it's going to be three-dimensional, just like our sun.
What? Why? What do you mean? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? I have so many questions. How is this image three-dimensional? What makes it three-dimensional? Do you think you're creating a hologram? And how is this like the sun? Are you trying to say that the sun sends out light in all directions? Why not use a lamp for that? A lamp would do the same thing, minus your need for a crystal ball.
All I'm doing there is creating a three-dimensional sun, or a three-dimensional moon, or a three-dimensional planet.
What? What are you even saying? How is a projection on a flat surface a three-dimensional object? Do you even know what those words mean? Suns, moons, and planets are not the same thing. Suns produce their own light. Your circle on a wall does not produce light. Moons and planets reflect light. Your circle doesn't reflect light. It is reflected light. In what reality is a circle on a wall a three-dimensional object?
And what you can see is that if I vary different elements of the light, I can get it to change its position. Now you can see there's a blue aura around it, just like the way we see the moon. There's an edge to it that you don't get when you just put a light on.
But why? Why are you doing this?
So it's almost like a glass ball is moving and the sunspots are part of the glass ball being projected onto the firmament, and we're on the other side. Imagine that we're on the other side looking up. So we're looking up towards the light and seeing this on the other side of the wall.
What? Riley, serious talk time now. Half of my script is me saying what in an exaggerated manner because you make no goddamn sense. If you think that we should be looking directly at the light, then point the light at the camera. And what firmament are you talking about?
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate the eclipse using the plate. And the whole point of this is to take a picture of it to see, do we get the imagery that we got?
Point the light at the camera and put an object between the camera and the light. That is how you simulate an eclipse. I have no idea what you're doing. I have no idea what you're trying to show. From what I can tell, Riley, you are trying to say that the sun isn't a real object in the sky. The sun is a projection of a light through a glass ball onto a firmament. So what we see in the sky is a three-dimensional image, whatever that means, and not the actual sun. Is that clear to everyone?
It's kind of it there. Right, so as you can see, I'm going to try and do this so that it passes. There we go. Right, that's going to do it. Alright, so imagine that we're on the other side looking at this. There's the beginning of the eclipse. And then we get it to totality. Oh, let me try doing this a different way.
Why are you doing this? I thought you were going to show us that the moon didn't block the sun during the eclipse. Your evidence for why the moon didn't block the sun is that you used the plate to block the sun. So what was the giant plate that blocked the sun? What are you trying to say, Riley?
Here we see some of the photos that were taken on the camera. And I'll just take one of them. So let's just pick a good one for the sake of illustration. We'll go with this one, or that one. We'll go with that one. Now I'm going to open it with photos, which is what I was doing on all of the images that I was looking at with Mike Helmick. And I'm going to basically play with it in the edit option. I'm going to apply the Zeke filter to see is there any... You can clearly see that there's a cast shadow, which we didn't see on the other photos, and I'll show you that in a minute.
What are you trying to show, Riley? You are incompetent at video making. Please find a middle schooler and learn how to write an essay. Intro statement, supporting material, conclusion. Of course there's a shadow, Riley. You're casting a shadow. You know what happened during the eclipse? The moon cast a shadow. This is why there were only some parts of the world where it got dark and not others. The shadow was the part of the world where it got dark.
Now all of them are showing that there's a plate blocking the light, and you can see the absence of light. And there is nothing that indicates that the sun is just losing its light. It's being blocked. You can see that there's a plate blocking it. Okay. There's the photo. There's that photo. And then if we edit this one and do the same kind of thing, click the Zeke one, which is what I was doing last time. Although that was actually for the... You can see that there's glow there already. You see that there's no blacking out of the light. That's artifacts of the sun where the moon is meant to be.
That's it? Your whole problem with the solar eclipse was lens flare. You went through this whole stupid experiment because of a lens flare. According to you, the moon cannot be blocked by the sun because light is making it past the moon. The easiest way for you to test this was to go outside with your plate, stick the plate between you and the sun, and take pictures. Then you would have noticed that you get the same effect. Let me demonstrate it. Here is a total eclipse caused by a drink coaster. When I bring up the contrast, you can see no light in the middle. Here is a partial eclipse, like your picture. Already, without messing with the contrast, you can see the same effect. According to you, this coaster cannot be physically blocking the sun because I can see a little bit of light bleeding into the part of the picture where the coaster is. But it gets better. You set up this whole experiment to mimic the sun being projected onto the firmament, which means that if the sun is actually a projection on the firmament, then the pictures you took should match reality. Your pictures of a simulated eclipse should match the pictures of a real eclipse, but they don't. You have managed to set up an experiment that proves you were wrong, and you haven't even noticed. At this point in the video, I usually try to have some pithy advice or conclusion, but in your case I can't. Riley, I couldn't even debunk your video because it made no goddamn sense.